Are you starting to hate your brand? It's a weird question, right? Why would you hate your brand? But it can happen. I've been there. There were so many times where I wanted to quit my business, but instead I started switching gears and honing in on my business goals and making little tweaks to my business. If you're starting to hate your business, then keep watching to find out how to brand a business you love. In this video, I'm going to go over branding basics that'll help you rebrand your business. These branding tips will help you build a brand that aligns with your goals and attracts your audience. Do you know your how, what, who, where, and why? This is really important when it comes to having a business. If you haven't discovered your how, what, who, where, and why, then this is where you need to start. And before we get started, I want you to think about why you hate your brand. I want you to get a piece of paper and start writing down everything that you hate about your brand. That could be maybe the work that you're doing or who you're helping, or maybe you hate the way it feels, hate the way it looks. Whatever it is, just write it down. Next, ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing. I know when I started Natasha Lane Design Company, it all started with a school project. So for this project, I was researching information on women and coding. And whenever I finished the project, I was so shocked by the statistics of women in education, women in technology, and just the power that women have but don't use. And so I wasn't doing enough. And what can I do in this world? How can I contribute? And this is what I came up with. I decided that I wanted to help female entrepreneurs build the business of their dreams, like feel confident selling, creating, showing up in this world, basically telling their story. So, and that's what I do. I create brands for them. I create websites for them. I help them get confident creating videos. So this is the way that I contributed to, I guess, that project that I was talking about. This is my contribution. Now I want you to think about, what are the goals for your business? So did you start off this business because you wanted to help somebody? Or maybe you wanted to make it rich? Or maybe you wanted to, travel the world, do your own thing. Maybe you don't like listening to your boss. Did you have a message to spread to the world? Or did you want to leave a legacy? Or is this a way for you to make money and have a charity at the same time? Things like that. So whatever it is, write down your goals. Even if you created this business for your own vanity, whatever makes you happy, just remember what your goal is. And nobody has to know. You don't have to tell anybody. Who do you want to help? This is a big question. How will you build a brand you love if you don't know who you want to help? Knowing who you want to help will help you create awesome services and products for those people that you want to help. It'll help you know what type of content to create, and it will help you know where to show up online. My brand has evolved because of the people that I want to help. At first, I wanted to help female entrepreneurs, and that evolved into helping service-based female entrepreneurs. And then now it's service-based entrepreneurs who create content. So content creators. And this has helped me with knowing what kind of content to create. It helped give a direction of where I wanted to go with my services, products, and content. So just because you narrow down your audience doesn't mean that you're going to, I don't know, exclude. You're not going to exclude anyone. Because even though I make content for content creators now, that doesn't mean that a product-based business that doesn't create content can't buy my services. They can still watch my content and it can still pertain to them. And if they like it, they can buy my services and it will help them. But just having a specific audience in mind narrows down my content ideas. And that's why you want to have a specific audience in mind, because you're trying to attract that audience. But just because you're attracting that audience doesn't mean you're excluding another audience. What do you want to do? So when you're thinking about this question, what do you want to do? You can think about your business goals, but you can also think of a bigger cause. So maybe you're interested in charity work and you do this business so that you can have income for charity, or maybe you do your business for charity. Like I used to volunteer for Genie. It was basically a charity on climate change, global warming. And I would volunteer my video editing services there. So maybe you do something like that, but as a business. Or maybe you volunteer your services for charities. Maybe you do 80% like profit-based business and then 20% charity-based business. I'm going off topic though. But you could have something like that as what you want to do, like a bigger cause for the world, like helping the world. Or maybe you want to do things for your personal life. Maybe you do this so that you can spend more time with your family and friends. So you have this business because you want more free time. Or you could be doing this just to help the people that you help right now. But whatever it is, make sure that you have that in mind. Because somebody who wants to spend time with their family and friends, it doesn't really make sense to build a business model where you're working 24/7. So you have to think about what you want to do, because I should say you have to think about the ultimate goal of your life so that you can model your business after it. If your goal is to spend more time outside your business, of course, you would limit your business hours and limit the ways you market your business, the type of content you create, if you're on multiple platforms, things like that. Now we're going to talk about how do I get started making changes to my business. And before you get to this part, you have to know that who, what, why, how, and where that I talked about above. I know that was a lot of content, but you really need to know that to build the brand that you love. So once you finish that first section, now it's time to do a makeover. It's time to rebrand. Rebranding isn't hard. You just have to know your who, what, why, where, and how, and start incorporating that into your messaging, your content, revamping your services and products to reflect that. And it sounds like a lot, but not really. Let's use an etiquette coach as an example. If she decided to help female leaders navigate the corporate world using manners, then she would have to update her messaging content and have ideas like how to walk like a boss, table manners for bosses, or how to greet like a boss, things like that. She would update her services, products, and content to reflect that it's for female leaders or potential female leaders who want to make it big in the corporate world. After your rebrand, start adding a little personality to your brand. As an entrepreneur, as a content creator, a coach, and small business, you have the advantage of creating a personal brand. How do you add a little personality into your brand? Just by being yourself. For those of you who like having privacy, you don't have to show everything online. In fact, you should make a list of the things you want to show online and the things you don't want to show or do online. For example, me, I wouldn't talk about religion or politics because, first off, that doesn't really have anything to do with my business. But second, it's a polarizing topic. I like to have like a positive community, and religion and politics is very divisive. Is that the right word? But it causes conflict. So I wouldn't talk about that online. You can do the same thing. You don't have to show your family. You don't have to show your friends, your private life. You can just add a little of yourself in there. Like, I don't mind adding a little of myself and my personality. In fact, I've gotten positive feedback. For example, if you've been reading my email newsletters or my Instagram, you know that I like to watch K-dramas or read light novels and manhwas online. And I've actually gotten some DMs from people who share the same interest as me. So it's fun making friends with other business owners who share the same hobbies as you. Another thing that I've gotten comments on is my laziness. I mean, a lot of people can relate to being lazy. And I found that adding a little bit of my personality, my voice, and just being myself when I'm creating content actually makes my brand more fun and more personal. If you're stuck on your goals and how you want to portray your business, then grab the ultimate roadmap to discover your brand style. This email course will help you build a brand you love. You can find that in the link in the description box down below. Have you ever hated your brand or your business? Let me know in the comments down below. The fourth thing you have to think about when you're building a brand you love is image. So is your image important? Yes, image is everything. After you've created your brand and your personal brand, you want to think about your image. So you want to start showing off all the things that you've created. I mean, what's the point if you're not going to show it off? So now it's time to update those images on your website, social media, everywhere. So those images could be stock images or images you use for your services, product images. Just make sure they all match your brand because your images set the tone for your brand. I mean, they help set the tone. Every time I rebranded my business, you can see that the images have evolved a lot. And those images have been on my social media and on my website. And you probably haven't noticed the big difference, or I should say the place where you can see the biggest difference is Instagram, since I don't really delete my old photos. So if you go back to my first photo and compare it to my newest photo, you can see how the images and style are different, even though they all fit my brand. So check out my Instagram and see the difference between the first and the last image. The fifth and last thing that I want to talk about is the most important part of branding. And what is the most important part of your brand? It's your audience. Your audience is king. So when you're rebranding, you really need to think of your audience. I don't know if you kept the same audience in mind or if you decided that you have other people that you love helping. Either way, you need to keep them in mind when it comes to everything that you create. So everything needs to be from your audience's perspective. I mean, they're the ones who are watching your content, interacting with you, buying your services. So think about your audience whenever you're branding. I use this example with the etiquette coach, but see how she narrowed down her audience, and because she narrowed down her audience, she needs to create content geared to what they like and create a service that they like things that would help them. So remember that your audience is king, and you need to build a brand that aligns with your audience. As you can see, hating your brand or your business could have nothing to do with your service. It could have more to do with your messaging and who you help. Just little tweaks can help you build a brand that you love. So for example, me, I've changed my audience, but I haven't really changed my services. I still design brands and websites, and I still help you create content, video content for your business. So that is still the same, but the audience is different. So that's it. If you want to learn how to build a business you love, then you need to know your who, what, where, how, and why. Then you need to incorporate that into your new brand. And then you should add a little personality and reflect your images, update your images to reflect your rebrand. And remember that your audience is king. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you need help discovering your brand style, then don't forget to grab your ultimate roadmap to discover your brand style. You can get that in the link in the description box down below. Until next time, bye.